Is it possible to look like you're on steroids?
Bro, look at this goon on the left. Discussion over. Fucking Natty.
In this Instagram post, Hussein said he went from 134 to 184 pounds in his first 3 years of lifting. One explanation is that he took steroids for the first year or two and then came off them before the blood test in my last video.
I decided to hop on gear. It was a small cycle, 300 EQ, 300 tests, 300 masterone, a little bit of Anavar and MK as well.
Are you now satisfied? Yes, I knew it. Hussein, he wasn't natural after all.
So, everything you just saw in the last video with Greg was a joke.
Stop it. Get some help.
Hussein Farhat, Julian Fitzgerald, and other fake natties like them have completely destroyed the fitness industry. Like, it's cooked, done, completely a joke at this point. And it's not just because influencers like Hussein are completely lying about their natty status, acting like they never took steroids of some kind, or that a transformation like this is possible in 18 months. But it's the veterans in the fitness industry like Jeff Nippard and Greg Doucette that have completely thrown their reputations away, co-signing and defending people that anybody with eyes can see have used some type of enhancement to get the physique that they have now. And what these influencers are doing is really what's been going on in the fitness industry as a whole since the Gymshark days, where all the guys and girls were clearly juiced to the gills, claiming to be natties while building these huge social media profiles and getting rich off sponsorships and brand deals. All while gullible followers trying to better themselves bought up all their supplements and ate up all of their training advice, which was probably bullshit because they used drugs to get there in the first place, only to eventually realize that they will never look like the people that they were idolizing because they were not natty. But even back then, trusted veterans were not backing and trying to cover for those same influencers. And with that being the case today, it just kind of shows you how broken the fitness industry is. But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it. If you've ever worked out a day in your life, you know it is not possible to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right all natural. It just cannot happen. Which is why I think everyone was confused when somebody like Jeff Nippard went out of his way to try to gaslight us into believing that Hussein Farhat and Julian Fitzgerald were natties. And I mean, these two videos right here have done irreparable damage to his reputation, which he even admitted later.
Is it possible to look like you're on steroids?
Bro, look at this goon on the left. Let's just stop this video right here. Discussion over. Fucking natty. Julian Fitzgerald is insane. I'm gonna make a separate video about him. But Hussein isn't too far behind him, especially after seeing his transformation in 18 months.
I think it is, but a lot of people find that hard to believe.
Vast majority of people are saying, there's no way this guy is natural.
You just won't be able to convince me there's a single chance he achieved this naturally.
So I put it to the test, and I showed this group of guys who swear they're all natural to random strangers and asked them one question: who's natty and who's not?
Hell.
You think he's on steroids? Okay.
Oh yeah, like that's just insane.
100% I would say natural.
Not everybody that takes steroids look like they take steroids. Some people take steroids and look like shit. But there are people that take steroids that look like they take steroids. And that would be Julian and Hussein.
Based on their answers, I was able to pinpoint exactly which body features people look at when they're suspecting steroids. As for our 8 test subjects, I totally understand the skepticism when you just look at them, especially a few in particular. That's why I'm secretly bringing in a medical doctor who's gonna blood test every single person later in the video.
This is stupid. Lance Armstrong took hundreds of blood tests that he passed, and he was doping like a maniac. He only got caught because other people got caught and snitched on him. So 2 dudes that are clearly on steroids passing the drug test that specific day means nothing.
On the right is the definitely natty zone. Basically, everyone I interviewed thought this look was achievable naturally with some basic training. A few people pointed to subject number 5's quads as being a little suspicious, but I got in a leg workout with him, and I definitely think he earned those quads naturally.
Jeff Nippard sounds like a complete idiot. Whether he's on steroids or not, he's working out, so of course he earned his quads. If anything, if he was on steroids, he would be able to work out harder and recover faster, so that makes no sense.
On the left side is the questionable zone. Most people thought these guys were probably taking something. Even after I told them they swear they're 100% natty, some people still had their doubts.
I gotta put you at 2.
Right here?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Not here?
Yeah, I can put you at 1. I can put you at 1. Yeah, I can put you at 1.
Jeff is a smurf. I didn't know he was that short.
After the pecs, a lot of people pointed out that everyone in the questionable zone had bigger traps than everyone else. Science does suggest that having massive traps...
Bro, this dude Julian is 19 years old, and he's bigger than half of the bodybuilders today, and is definitely outsizing golden era Arnold. Like, come on, man.
...can be an indicator that you're on some special supplement. That's because your upper traps have a higher androgen receptor density than most other muscles.
This whole video, Jeff is basically making excuses to why the guys that clearly look like they're on steroids, like Hussein and Julian, aren't on steroids and have achieved their physiques naturally. I have no clue why he did this video, or he doubled down in the other video. Like, the clout could not be worth his reputation.
Basically, there are just more testosterone receptors on the muscle cells there. So when you inject testosterone, it makes a bigger impact on the trap since there are more receptors.
Yeah, there's literally a video of Julian working out with Larry Wills, and Larry is looking at him crazy the whole video. I'll probably talk about that later.
In my personal opinion, this next thing is the biggest factor that's actually fully within your control, and it's simply being lean. Assuming you have some muscle base, when you're leaner, you're going to look much more jacked. Comparison, this is what I looked like 30 pounds heavier at around 20% body fat. And this is what I look like now, 30 pounds lighter at around 10.
Right, but being on steroids allows you to be leaner, look drier, still work out, keep your strength, even while you're at a lower weight. So again, that doesn't disprove that Hussein is on steroids.
Percent body fat. I'm definitely getting more steroid accusations now, despite the fact that I'm actually quite a bit smaller. That's the illusion of bodybuilding.
Under some decent lighting.
Yeah, you look
Like,
great.
you're gonna look way bigger.
Or just putting a needle in your ass and doing roids and going to work out.
When you're leaner,
And
you're
eating
also
like a
more
horse.
vascular, which is actually not nearly as related to steroids as many people think.
You'll get more roid accusations if you are vascular. People, for some reason, think it's related.
Like these veins right here and those veins right there.
And low body fat.
Someone like Hussein gets
What are we talking
bad
about, Jeff?
accusations online since he has a huge social media following.
And this is why they do it right here. This is why dudes are hopping on the juice younger and younger and younger and lying about it so that they can build these huge social media followings and then sell supplements. It makes them a ton of
He
money.
has a super impressive physique, even in real life. So I get it. Most people don't realize just how much of a difference lighting can make in how enhanced you look.
It's not just his physique, it's literally his transformation and how quick he built that body from what he was before, which was a super scrawny kid.
This is what everyone looked like with standard diffuse lighting. Now look at the difference once we switched to more spot lighting. Everyone went from natty to enhanced in a 1-second transformation.
False. The dudes that look like they were on roids still look like they're on roids. The lighting didn't fix that. But of course, lighting, shadows, all that stuff play a part in pictures looking better, but that literally didn't change anybody.
Now, right before I show you everyone's blood work, let's talk about Julian. This guy's caught the internet by storm, with the majority of people saying there's simply no way he's...
Bro, look at his arm.
Especially when you consider he just turned 19.
You are outsizing Larry Wills, who's been on the juice for decades and working out for decades, and this dude is 19 years old. What is this discussion about?
I might as well go 365.
You think you'll get it?
I don't know. I just loaded as much as I could.
Look at his bicep.
Depressing. I'm not sure to be like, if I should be motivated or just sad.
That's what the roids do, Jeff.
Before you jump to any conclusion, here's the thing. Some people are just jacked. Just like
Not
there's
that
a huge range in height potential, there's also a huge range in muscle growth potential.
Not that jacked. At all. Not even possible. That's insane.
If we see someone who's 7 feet tall, we don't immediately think they're taking growth hormone. When it comes to muscle mass, people often forget the role of genetics and immediately jump to stiff.
Because you don't have to work out to be 7 feet tall. You do have to work out to get 20-inch biceps.
Sometimes, when you combine world-class genetics, super hard training can get to a level of muscular development that some people simply aren't going to believe is possible naturally.
Jeff would rather believe in 1 in a billion world-class genetics than this 19-year-old is roided up.
I'm in the gym all the time. That's like because somebody's like basically saying, nah, you didn't put in the work. You just stuck a needle in your arm. But right. I'm like afraid of needles. I hate needles. Like
Even if you stuck a needle in your arm, you still put in the work. No one is saying that. You can't just put a needle in your ass and all of a sudden get muscles. You do have to put in the work. The point is steroids and performance enhancers help you do the work.
See, that's how you know he's not enhanced, because he said you put it in your arm and you like, you don't inject in your... So
Shut up, Jeff.
you
As
plan...
long as you're within the normal, healthy range, testosterone doesn't do nearly as much for muscle growth as people seem to think. More testosterone didn't correlate with more muscle.
So Jeff is just writing off that the two dudes that everyone thinks are on roids are at the top of the testosterone chart.
I think the most plausible scientific explanation is that when you combine years of really hard training with dedicated nutrition and the right parents, the results can be super impressive.
And a whole lot of steroids or performance enhancers get you somebody like Julian Fitzgerald and Hussein Farhat. But just about every comment on this video was calling Jeff out for running cover for two guys that everyone knows are on steroids. Disappointed you didn't invite the Liver King, an iconic all-time natty. Should have included Michael Hearn too in this video. Yeah, he is the original fake natty influencer. So let's be clear, you're 5'5" with genetically gifted parents. Yeah, I think Jeff's mother was a bodybuilder as well. Trained for 2 decades gains but look smaller than these guys who train for 1.5 to 3 years. Right, makes sense. I forgot logic flip. Taller guys will now look more jacked than shorter guys because that's totally how it works. And then for whatever reason, Jeff chose to double down with his co-sign of Hussein and Julian.
Most people try to figure out if someone is natural or not by looking at them. If they're below the line, they're natty. If they're above the line, they're not. But the problem is, people draw that line in very different places. Others draw the line right up too, but not including Simian Panda. Believe it or not, a lot of people still think that The Rock is natty. And recently, millions of people fell for the Liver King scam.
No one fell for the Liver King scam. Everyone knew this dude was on roids. He was just entertaining as hell.
It's understandable why so many people don't believe influencers anymore. In this video, I'm diving straight into the dumpster fire, and I'm taking 3 tools with me: history, science, and common sense. And the real reason that I picked Steve Reeves as an example of a natural bodybuilder from the pre-steroid era is that literally everyone agrees that this physique is 100% achievable naturally.
He goes through this whole video using history, science, and I guess common sense to basically shoot bail to Hussein Farhat. At the end of the day, Hussein, at 23 years old, working out for 2 years, looks better than Steve Reeves ever did, who was Arnold's hero.
Hussein Farhat, the fitness influencer from my last video, is 185 pounds at 5 foot 11 inches tall and around 12% body fat. I know the issue with Hussein isn't his size per se, it's the speed of his transformation. Suspicious. In this Instagram post, Hussein said he went from 134 to 184 pounds in his first 3 years of lifting at around the same body fat.
Yeah, it wasn't even 3 years of lifting. It was 18 months. Impossible.
I know he looks a lot leaner on the right, but there's some serious angle, lighting, and photo filter trick going on there. So it's honestly not a good comparison. Regardless, let's just say he gained 50 pounds of lean mass in 3 years.
18 months, all muscle, 50 pounds of straight muscle.
From a scientific angle. This is a table for realistic rates of muscle gain in men. My textbook, The Muscle Ladder, which I wrote before I knew who Hussein was. I said,
speaking of plugs, go grab an almighty hat. Boom, boom, boom.
Pounds of lean mass gained in your first 3 years. Hussein gained 50. He's above the typical range. There are 2 possible explanations. One explanation is that he took steroids for the first year or 2 and then came off them before the blood test in my last video. That's possible. The other explanation is that Hussein was quite underweight and seriously undereating when he first started.
And I guarantee you, he has 1 in a billion genetics,
causing his transformation numbers to be inflated. You start eating enough, especially if you combine it with hard training and a good genetic response to lifting. He could be enhanced. He could be lying the same way that Liver King was lying. Except, it was obvious Liver King was lying.
It's obvious Hussein and Julian are lying. And just like the first video, the comments were flaming him again. Excited to revisit this comment section in 24 hours. Jeff, you stood next to a couple of guys who had more gains in 2 years than you did in 20 years. That's the giveaway right there. And I think the main point is this. The eye test is not how we know Hussein isn't natty. We know because he achieved a 3-year transformation in 1.5 years using a broomstick and a ladder at 19 years old with 0 sign of having any extreme genetic advantages. Exactly. If he had those genetic advantages to start with, we would have saw that in those earlier pictures, but we don't. And I forgot to even mention that the dude was literally working out in his garage, I think, with just like a broomstick and a ladder or something like that. Just something ridiculous before he even got in the gym within a year and made all the gains that he has. The whole story is ridiculous.
Well, it's starting to look like I was right.
And it gets really interesting because Scott Herman made a video basically calling out Hussein, saying the same things that everyone else did about his transformation and him clearly not being a natty. And under that video, Greg made comments admitting that Hussein wasn't natural and basically blew up the whole fitness industry.
So I posted my video last night, Jeff Nippard, even less credibility than last time, more fake natty slop. And in the first 2 minutes of the video, I gave my take on what I think is really happening with Hussein. That nuclei never leaves. You might not hold as much mass as you did when you were on cycle, right? And I think that could be what's happening here with Hussein. People are saying he doesn't look as good.
His physique is so crazy, and the timeline of it is even crazier. Anyone even believing that is natural needs to go get checked out.
Well, because when he was on gear, he was getting all those benefits while also increasing the amount of nuclei in his muscle tissue. Now, the nuclei never left, but he's not getting all those other benefits to help him look as good as he did when he was on that cycle. And then shortly after that, I got a lot of comments in the comment section, one from Greg, talking about how I guess Hussein is coming clean, and he's going to talk about that he actually did a 16-month cycle when he first joined the gym that involved using steroids as well as MK677, and then he hopped off after a while, and he has a certain type of polymorphism that allows him. So not only does he have 1 in a million genetics, he's also another 1 in a gazillion that has polymorphism, and that's why he's been able to maintain his gains.
A lot of people didn't even believe Greg when that comment went up that that was a genuine comment. Everyone already believed he was on steroids, got off to pass whatever blood test that he had to do. But now the polymorphism thing is basically saying that he's going to hold on to whatever gains he got while he was using steroids. Just another excuse to why he looks the way he does in that short of a period of time.
And he's just this genetic gifted freak. He was able to not only build this body in 18 months naturally, but since he jumped off the gear, he also has polymorphism, and he's been able to maintain all of his gains.
So I do think Hussein is signed to or sponsored by Greg, which is why somebody like Greg will put his neck and reputation on the line defending this clearly not natty influencer. I still don't understand Jeff Nippard, though.
So when he posted this comment, I literally thought it was a joke. So I responded, I said, no chicken, rice, and broccoli, right? And then Greg responded, deserves to be pinned, posted this in a few videos. The video has already been edited, but I think he's posting tomorrow. We thought about posting it on my wall, but I said to Hussein, you're the one that has to come clean. It's not me. And so going on his channel, but feel free to react to it after. And then I was like, oh, you're being serious, bro? I thought you were joking. And then Greg posted down here this thing about, Hussein being such a 1 in a gazillion male specimen that not only does he have better genetics than all of us when he trains and when he's on gear, but when he gets off gear, he's also has way better genetics than us, and that's why he's able to keep all of his gains.
And so that comment from Greg led to a lot of backlash, not only for Greg, Hussein, but also for Jeff Nippard, who again went out on the ledge defending him and shooting him bail for his transformation. So Jeff took to Instagram and made this post. Incredibly disappointed. I guess this is where you all get to say I told you so. Yes, I'll go ahead and take my big fat L for defending Hussein. For what it's worth, I do think it was most likely a very stupid publicity stunt from Greg to keep people talking about this. But it doesn't matter at this point, because now people like me who thought Hussein was probably natural will join the legion of doubters. I still think Hussein's physique is achievable naturally, even if he isn't. But no worries, I'll still hold my L. Yes, hold that L. And nobody's feeling sorry for him for basically having an egg on his face at this point. But Greg and Hussein did end up releasing a video later talking about the whole steroid drama. And honestly, for whatever they had planned, it backfired more than they could have ever expected.
What you want? Are you now satisfied? Yes, I knew it. Hussein, he wasn't natural after all.
So Hussein posted this video, which is what Greg was promoting in the first place, for people to go watch this video of him actually coming out and admitting to steroid use. But it backfired more than they could have ever expected.
So we're coming clean. I don't know how else to start off this video. This was a really hard one to do, honestly, which is why I have Greg here with me to help me, navigate this, explain what I've done and what I regret doing.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to be here to explain exactly the science of everything that went down.
Hey, you gotta respect Greg for still plugging. Bro got the Turk down there.
Despite the fact that he lied in the past, and so, I'm just gonna let him explain everything that he's done.
So you guys have probably seen my transformation, and, the steroids accusations around it, and rightfully so. And I just wanted to tell you guys that everything was planned from day one. I decided to hop on gear. It was a small cycle, 300 EQ, 300 tests, 300 masterone, a little bit of Anavar and MK as well. And I did this for 16 months. I planned everything all along because I knew I was gonna, Greg was gonna make a video on me at some point. So as soon as it was the 16-month line, I hopped off and, reached out to Greg.
This whole video is 13 minutes, but this whole part of the video is about him coming out. Just all the drugs he was taking, what he was doing, what he was using. And then at the end, it basically gets revealed that it's all publicity stunt. They did all this like a fake confession of him fake admitting to steroids. I guess to go viral, I guess to sell more supplements, to make more money, whatever the case. But they did did all of that basically to prank everybody.
All right, so everything you just saw in the last video with Greg was a joke. It was planned to be a video where me and Greg make fun of everyone that's saying that I'm not natural, because it just doesn't make sense. And the whole point was to show how dumb it is by us being extremely serious the whole time to just make fun of the people that are talking about it. And honestly, like, I feel like they're getting paid to make videos on me and saying that I'm not natural.
No, you're getting paid to be on gear, get famous, get sponsorships, get deals, sell supplements, and then lie and say you're natty. That's who's getting paid.
That was the whole point of the video initially, was just to make fun of people. And now I guess we're seeing like people's true faces are against me. Some people, for example, Jeff, I totally get how it could affect his reputation.
Yeah, he basically went out on the limb for Hussein, stupid enough, and that destroyed his reputation.
And so, listen, guys, this is the honest truth. If you take a 16-month of steroids and you put on, say, 45 pounds of muscle or whatever, and you stop, you're going to lose a shit ton of muscle. Now,
in the comments, as you would expect, we're calling out the whole weird situation. Like, it's just weird and dumb, and I don't know why they would do this prank in the first place. Harming Jeff's reputation to create engagement is beyond low. Jeff set himself up, so he kind of deserves it. 3 steps of deception until failure. This is so weird. Threw Jeff under the bus for 200K views. Again, you can't really feel bad for Jeff, but they still did him dirty with this whole situation. Never trust a kid with the broccoli haircut. Someone in 2023. But this sums it all up. Bro actually made a video lying about lying about lying. Facts on facts on facts. At the end of the day, this is why the fitness industry is just garbage at this point. You really can't trust anything that these influencers say, because 9 times out of 10, they did drugs. They are on gear. They did something that you're not doing to get where they are. And now they're just either selling you a workout course, supplements, whatever. And Hussein and Julian are the new faces of this whole fake natty movement. It just sucks. But thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.